discussed the account posting rule, and we have uploaded the or updated the retained earning. What is account posting rule? How we maintain it? We discuss in a very detailed way. Then we discuss the journal source, why we need to have a journal source, and in the journal source we discuss the sub ledgers, how you maintain it, and the recurring journal we discussed that now we are going to perform the recurring journal transactions. So we discuss recurring journal, those journal which created on creation of the recurring journal frequency is quite high. So what happened for those journals, instead of creating again and again from scratch, you can create a template, and that template basically helps you to create it. The recurring journal is our upcoming activity.
So regarding the suspense account, right, that you were talking about, is that something a temporary holding account for the record transactions that needs to be corrected in missing incorrect financial details until they're properly corrected?
Let me log in first here. The expense account is basically the account that we normally used.
The transaction is not clear which is that, so that's why they park in like in that account, and when we finalize that with transaction and where it is going to in which ledger, then we going to move the
Okay.
transaction, right?
Yeah.
So it's temporarily parking the transactions in that
No,
account.
not temporarily parking the transaction. Suspense account is basically, if I say or comment it in a quick way, then suspense account is some adjustment that we will discuss as well. What is adjustment? For example, your debit and credit is not equal. Okay, for example, your debit is 12.0.19, whereas your credit is 12.0118. While in our multi-currency journal, we will discuss multi-currency journal as well. When there is a conversion involved, any difference due to some rate or calculation system, because this is our rule says your debit must equal to your credit. Here in this section, there is a 0.001 difference. Now, if you will not create the suspense account configuration, then the system will not allow you to submit it. But in this case, where the calculation is happening and you have to be controlled the accounting, so for that reason, that 0.001 would be taken into a suspense account. Any such kind of differences. Okay. Second, another reason is that if somewhere your definition, you have defined your account posting rule, and if you miss some account posting rule for any transaction, but you want to allow the system to submit those. So for that transaction, for example, you have payables, expense here, and it is assets here, cash, but you didn't configure this expense in the system and the account posting rule, and there is no rule defined, and you have configured the suspense account, system automatically take this amount into your suspense account for a temporary basis, as you said. So the temporary means that for the time being you are parking and don't want to hold the user to or restrict the user that until unless the account posting rule APR is not there, you cannot move on. For that reason, any transaction for the time being, then you can park it in the suspense account. So this is the suspense account. So this is either the normal or common logics we maintain in the suspense account.
So a whole transaction going to the suspense, right, Mary? Not only the default.
Yes, the whole transaction means a whole transaction amount. If
Yeah,
both
whole
transactions,
transaction.
yeah, if one transaction is expense is not been defined, then only expense will take into the APR. Oh, sorry, not defining the APR, then it will take into the suspense account, not the cash account here. Only those accounts which configuration is there, then system will not stop you to or not hold you, and your account will not take into the suspense account. Only those which are not been configured. That's why the suspense account come up, because suspense means that is not clear, that is suspicious. Until unless it will not clear, system will allow you to enter the transaction, but under the suspense account. Okay.
So we'll create a scenario, right? Later point of time.
Yeah. And there is right now we are creating the recurring. Try the suspense account, create a journal source, mark it as a suspense account, and then perform it this type of transaction. Any challenge you will have it, then I will support you,
Okay.
no problem. Why I'm
Sure.
not
Yeah.
doing these things? Because I wanted that you search yourself. Okay, some transactions that these are the very important transactions that I am doing. This is important as well, but not as such as normally we have it. So no worry.
I'll try it. I'll try
Try
it.
this one
I'll
as
try it. Yeah.
well. Yeah. So now let's have a recurring journal. So last we have here we said that we have two finance and IT, that two cost center we have it. So on the cost center that we have it, we want to register this or we want to submit this recurring as a recurring journal. So how we're gonna do that in the system, that we will perform it. Now for the recurring journal we have a task. If I type it here, recur journal only, there are four tasks has been appear. One task, recurring journal generation template. Three are the related with template, because recurring journal means that those journal coming up again and again, so we have to create a template here. So create recurring journal template must have some ledgers. So my ledger is tx USL actuals. Now once I will tab it, then enable multi-currency. We will see this, what is the meaning of multi-currency, and record quantity as well. So again, that would be system will, if it is related with multi-currency or record quantity, then we will check it. But if it is not, then you can uncheck as well. So click OK. So we are going to define the template now. On my left side, the recurring journal template information. So here the ledger, the currency is there. Template status is available. So template status is template's name is the journal name. So here we are entering the rent transaction, that is rent paid. So two account is debited and one is credit with cash. This is my accounting transactions. Okay. So this is there. You can add multiple lines as per your requirement. So right now I have only one line, two lines only. So I will define it in the system. So here TX rent journal. Now here the status is available, and then what are the created and not available. Available means that this template will be available. If it is not available, then you cannot create a recurring journal. Created means that if journal will be created automatically, system will create the status of journal created. Now here the status, template started and template ended. So started date is from 1st of and end date is by end of December, meaning that this time period we will use this journal for creation. So here the status I can use here manual as well. And what is a work tag we'll discuss, backbook code we'll discuss, no problem. Now automatically submit generated journal. So here if you remember that whenever we created a journal, we submit it. So automatically submission or manual submission. If it is unchecked, like we did earlier, to create journal will be created and submitted manually. So I am not submitting automatically. It is manual submission. Then period means on a period, like I have selected 12 periods. So every month is a period. So every month we will create it, or else this journal can be created once in a month, or it can be multiple journal can be created in a month. So if it would be a multiple creation, then none of above. If it is a period wise, that every period one journal should be created against this template, then you can select this one. Summary schedule means we will discuss this summary schedule, that if it is quarterly, half yearly, annually, that would be, so you can select accordingly. So right now I'm creating as a period. So some journals are common in nature, you are specific to period like rent, and some journal are not specific to period, like some commission that you are frequently paid to your employee. So that is none of above, meaning that in one period multiple journal will be created. Now here on my right side, the name of name of that rent paid on monthly basis. Create reversal. Now, meaning what is reversal journal, we will discuss it as well, along with the adjustment. The reversal. What is a reversal journal? We will discuss reversal, automatic, and multi-currency. So right now, I don't want to have a reversal. It's simple one. So rent is I am paying every month is 250 each. So system created a replica of journals form. So here you can see company, what is a ledger account. A ledger account is my rent. So we have created one office rent 6130. and amount is $400, and this one is again 6130. This is for 400, and cost center is my finance DX IT, and here I would add another line, that is my cash. Sorry, that is 600. So here you can see that my cost center is completed, my debit and credit is equal to now, and here the amount is there. Now my journal template is completed. Now I can click OK, and there is an error. What is an error? Template may not be made available unless the control total must equal to the line total. So here we have 250 here. So instead of 250, it should be 800. Now it is balanced. Click OK. Another error is critical customer validation exists. Click view exception to button for details. So here the button is appear up the critical error. What is that? Two error. Spend cut is required with the expense account. Okay, so this is there. It is created not available, and that is additional work type. Okay, so here I would edit it again. So here I'm going to edit it, and here this error is related with spend category. So here I'm going to use what is a spend category. Why we need to have it? We will discuss this point in our AP module. But the error that is right now, for example, I have it here. If it is a rent related, yeah, spend category rent, and it is a rent here. Now click OK. Error is gone. It is available, meaning that now clear status is just created. Now I can. This template is available for me for journal creation. Now, how to create a journal? Because this is the first template and first of this February, or the, okay, my bad, is that we haven't opened up February. So I need to add it this because we created for we are open up period for January, not February. So for January, that I am going to open up now. So my template at 1st of Jan till 31st of December. Now it has been available. So I am going to create or generate a new journal based on this template. So every month I will open up this journal, recurring journal. It will ask me a count date at which year, because I have selected the period. It's not responsive. Why is it so? So end of the month or the start of the month, if it's up to me. So it means that 31st of Jan, that would be, and here there is no template or not journal, no journal created from the template. So it is period based, you can see. And if I click OK, system will create a journal here from this template. So now here that is created. Generate new recurring journal results created, and here is the transactions. Now click done. Now how I can find my journal? So here duplicate, I will go find my journal now. Simple. My company, year, period, and here you can see journal is created here. 800 with amount of 800 that is paid rent to. Okay, last day paid rent to X Corp. Sorry, this one is a paid rent to on a monthly basis. This one is there. That is in a created status. Now I can submit this one by added this journal. So every journal you can perform certain transactions to edit it or change it. If it is in a created status, you can edit it easily. But if it is a posted, how we're gonna edit it, we will discuss. But right now, the created one, if I go to this one, then we have a first option, that is edit. So here, so paid monthly rent. So here I can add up here my Jan period. And this is the rent that we have it, and click submit. So every journal we have to submit to see the impact in the trial balance. So we have now trial balance is ready. So we can see that impact, but the status here, if I go now when posted, responsive today. So here we have now journal is submitted and posted successfully. But for example, this journal that I did created, I need to update this one. There is some account issue or some account is not correct or amount is not correct. So, and the journal is posted. So how you can correct it? It's simply that you can find your journal similar way, and here the EX company, sorry, not UK, it's US, is Jan. I can find it here. The journal that I did posted. I will go to the related action button, and here the edit option is gone. But this journal is posted, that's why its edit option is not there. So first of all, for those journal which has been posted and now you want to make a change, then here I have option unpost. Okay, so meaning that first I will unpost this journal, and here system will ask you, will take the permission. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I want to change this journal. Now it is in unposted status. Okay, and now I can open up this journal now. Here you can see unposted status, and then I can edit this journal. So in adding this journal, for example, I just change the amount. That is for $10.
Called reverse journal?
No, this is called correction of journal, not reversal.
Oh.
We'll see reversal.
Okay.
Correction of journal means that you want to edit it and then correct it. Okay, so here the total control total is 820, and I'm gonna submit it. So my journal is now corrected. Okay, so here we discuss the journal status now. So we discussed posted, we discussed unposted, and we discussed cancel journal. But you can copy the journal as well. Okay, copy means that already exists, so you just make a copy. Now, point is, in this correction journal, here we have correct. If we want to correct, then we have to first unpost it. But if you want that which journal can be corrected and which journal cannot be corrected, if your period is closed, then you cannot correct it. So then you need to enter an adjustment or reversal of journal. So that is first what called you have to make an adjustment. But check the status of journal. There is a report here in Workday called journal status by source. Okay. And ledger period journal status as well. If I go with this report, company is what? It's just a report. Okay. Here the period is current period, not next Jan. So here you can see that my journal ledger period journal status for the month of Jan, that all in how many posted? 4 are posted, 1 cancelled. There is no unposted status, no error, no reserved, correct in progress, creation in progress, pro forma. So all of this here. Now overall journal status. This is my overall journal status. But if I want to have accounting journals events, there is no event that is in progress right now, neither operations nor pending. When we use this report, we normally use this report in a period close. We will discuss this period close in a detailed way, but here another report of it is my source. We can have it, this report. Here you can see that this is for company consolidation US. So a lot of journal, it's other company that is already exists here. You can see payroll amount, accrual, journal sources as per. We will discuss these all, not all, but some of them that we have related to. So these are all the statuses that we have folded, multiple journals that is cancelled, pro forma, and post it. Now for my company, if I want to view my company, I will change here TX USA. Year is 2025, all period. So here you can see 4 journal. Amount is 1,111. 1 is cancelled. 1 is the total amount. Okay. And there is creation. 1 is in a created status. Overall 112. So I can view all of these reports.
What is the total amount 111? We never created any with the amount of 111, right?
We check. Might be we have created that. Check. So you can just cancel or verify it.
It's 400.
400, that is cancelled. Okay, let me go back. This is a report issue. The report is not showing you the exact amount. It shows you the count. Okay. So how to correct this report, we will see in our reporting section. So report is not giving you, it shows you one item as an amount as well, meaning that report is not configured properly. Here amount is also 1. Total amount is not 1. It is count is 1. How to edit this report, how to correct it, we can have it. So report correction is another part of our training session, but that is the reporting section we will discuss in a detailed way. Okay. Here, this overall status, we have it. Now, if I find my journal, so I can find my journal. Like, for example, if I go back, now we have to, so here this is status. So I can copy this journal as well, which is now in a created state. So I can copy, for example, sales of books. So there is another sales transaction happened for this month. So I can just on a related action, go to journal, and then I can copy it as well. So here I would change it, sales of book instead of sales sales of vehicles. Cannot book. Date is my date that I have sold it out. So here it says that ledger period status period is not open. So let's open up this period journal because we need to match period update status. I am going to open up my period that is standard. Company is DX. All period, click OK. Now I can open up my FAB period now. And why I am opening? Because right now I don't want to change the date. All the transactions should happen. Automatically system will take a current date. Okay, now it has been available. Sorry, it is my timeline, not the. So now my period is open. So let's select again. Now system will not stop and should not stop. There is a process has been triggered now. So it will take some time.
Yeah. Okay, before that, you opened the date, right? So what for which account you did that period is open?
For the month of Feb. So now it has been no error. So now accounts is not yet updated here. So I have my sales of vehicles. So here the account that sales is like 3,500 instead of 5,000. Now I can change vehicle here. So that would be here. No, there is no vehicle defined. Let's make it computer. So sale of my computer sold for $3,500. Here I'm going to change it the amount, and here that is 3,500. Here this is.
Is it a right transaction? Because cash coming, right? Cash debit and computer credit.
Yes, you are right. You're not purchasing. Thank you.
So just change the debit amount. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, here we have to change it here. Instead of cash, we have to use sales account. Sales can be cost of sales. But right now we are using only ledger, so we will use the cash. Cash debit, computer credit, so 3,500. And the cost center is my IT. Now this is what data we just copy it, change the relevant information, and then submit it. My list submitted now. Okay. So this is a copy feature. Now, is it clear? Now let's discuss the reversal journal. What is a reversal journal? Why we need to have a reversal journal? Okay, some transactions in finance, if you go and check concept of accruals, anyone knows what is accrual? Or let's first adjustment that we have 15 minutes. Reversal is a detailed concept. So first we will discuss adjustments. Then we will discuss this one. So adjustment means that, for example, if your period is closed and you figure it out, there is accounting which I have just entered this is my, for example, where it is for the month of I need to check it here. It is system will show me only transaction, only one. Now here I figured it out that 3,500 it's not the 3,500, it's 2,500. So let's make a scenario here now. Adjustment. First scenario is that like I have made it cash debit, computer credit with 3,500. Okay. There is a concept of understate and overstate in finance. Understate means that amount is not is understated. Like we have to enter the 5,500, but it is 3,500. It is understated.
Less than actual, right?
Less than actual. If it is overstated, means that it is more than actual. So it might be I have to enter 2,500 instead of 35. It means that it is 3,500. So here it should be 5,500. It means that this is overstated. But if it is I have entered 3,500, okay, so that means that 2,000 is understated. This is a concept of under and overstated amount. Or it might be cash to sales. I have to enter cash to computer, but unfortunately in a quickly I have entered computer to cash 3,500. So meaning that here in this point we have a wrong selection of account. So meaning that it is a sales. So sales cash should be debit, but computer is credit. So account is not correct. And if your period is closed, your previous period, your old period, like Jan is closed, then we cannot edit those journals. Okay? We cannot unpost those journals because period is closed. System will not allow you. So here we will have a period close activity, but for your example right now, if for example my Jan period is closed, so here 35 and instead of for example, yeah, it is an 820 is there. So here if I open up this transaction, so I have an option unpost here. But if it is a period close, then you don't have any option to unpost it. So it means that you cannot change this journal. For that reason, if the period is closed, then you cannot change this original journal. Instead, you have to enter an adjustment journal. How to enter an adjustment journal? That is very simple. You have a create journal, and here would enter, and here the period is date. For example, I figure it out. Source is I will enter here adjustments. This is translation adjustment, not translation only adjustment. Source just for example, let me take it manual again. Source are not defined properly. And here we have option adjustment journal. I will check it. So this means that this is an adjustment journal and I'm going to enter it. So it is an adjustment of 3500 and adjustment of journal. Continue. So here, if I go down, similarly, there is no change in the form. Only correction is that the adjustment journal, you have to check it. Once it would be adjusted, then here the correct account, whatever it would be, so laptop, tablet, and cash credit. So correction of account from here. But in case, so here 2025. So now I'm making this scenario. So first I need to check this account now. So here the period is Jan, and I need to check this 820 journal. So this is a rent again. So I want to, okay, let's enter one journal in the Jan and then let me copy this journal. And instead of rent, it is advertisement expense, and that is in the Jan period on a 10th of Jan. Advertisement expense that is there. Click OK. Now here the advertisement expense is, oh well, let me check an expense here. Expense. So we have interest expense that we did paid, and we have interest expense that is, for example, it is 310 and it is 310. In a quick way, I have entered 3100. Let me enter here the transaction for you. So this is one scenario. Now the scenario is that interest expense debit that I paid 310, that is 310, and cash is debit, but the actual amount is 130 dollar. So meaning that I have paid or I have submitted an extra amount 180. So how are you gonna correct it? This one is the accounting transaction. Question is how I have to correct this one, because the Jan period is closed. Now in the Fab, you figure it out. The interest paid was not 310, it is 130. So let me submitted this one 310. It is recorded now in the month of Jan. Okay, 12550. That is the expense. Now how to adjust this one? It should be 130. Can anyone guide me that what would be the adjusting entry? Can anyone guide me?
180 cash and interest expense, 180 cash is debit, 180
Just debit 180.
and interest expense 180. Yeah.
Yes. Anyone say anyone? Okay. Thank you, Patel. Anyone who has observation on this, like accounting and date is not correct, or who didn't understand this one? First of all, it is correct or not? It's a Patel transaction that he said that it is 180 with 180 instead of 130. If I say that, it should be like this way: interest expense and cash, it should be 130. So what is the correct entry? This one or this one?
I think the second one, the interest
Second one is
expense.
okay. Murli said that the second one.
The first one, the cash and expense 180.
Any other another? So we are quite number of, okay. So we have more voter here, or they said that cash is debit 180 and expense is credit 180. Murli said that this one. Can
Yeah,
anyone?
I'm also saying 130, the second one.
So how you can say that cash is or cash to expenses 180, that is adjustment. So now we have to analyze this one transaction that we have made here. We have to analyze. First of all, we have to analyze this amount. This is 310, not this is not 310, it's 130. So difference is 118 right now. Okay. Meaning that my account is overstated. Overstated means we have booked this amount, an excess amount booked. Now, because it's an excess, we have to decrease this amount. Okay. How are we gonna decrease it? The first way is that we enter the correct one. So for me, both transactions are correct, but logics are different. Why is it so? If it is in your current month Jan, and the same month you are making this adjustment, so what you're gonna do, you will cancel this amount. So here I will this one cancel this journal and enter this correct journal. This one is the correct one. Expense debit, the correction. But if it is in a same period, current month, but if it is the month is closed, as I mentioned, Jan is closed and Fab is open. The system will not allow you to cancel this one because the period is closed now. You don't have the right to go back into past. So you have to be entered the transaction in a current month. So in the current month, instead of correction, you have to make it a correct one. Correction is that cash is understated with 180 instead of 130. It's 180 understated. So once that would be, so cash would be here. So let's enter in the month of correction. We have already seen where we cancel it and then make it adjustments. Now I'm making here this one. So in a quick way, this one is already there in a trial balance. In a quick way, if I show you here trial balance, so you can see that my interest expense is 310 in the month of Jan. Now I will create another journal, an adjustment journal. And now in this adjustments, I would create here cash debit 180 and expense credit just 180. Why 180? Because we are decreasing the amount to 180. This interest amount should be credit. Here we have debit and here we have credit. So once, if I write up here once again, this one, and if I remove it, sorry, not this one, it's called in finance a T account. We have interest expense, we have debit here, credit here. So here in my Jan period, this is my Jan period. In the Jan period, the interest amount is debited 310, and in the period, if I take it here, better way. So this is my T account. I don't have much option. Sorry, not here. I don't have much option with anyhow. So whereas in Fab, I have make it credit 180. You can see. So the difference is right now 130. Okay. So how we gonna check it? Just give me how we gonna check this one. This is correct. I'm gonna submit it. The control total is 180. Submit it. So here, if I run my trial balance once again, period, all Jan and Feb, both months, because I want to see a combined impact. Click OK. And if I show you here the interest expense, here you can see, sorry, but here you can see that 130 debited, 180 credit. The actual amount is 130 now, meaning that now my balance of interest expense shows the correct adjusting entry, correct account 130. You can see. So
But Maddie, in this scenario, this is adjustment for January, right? But what if we have to pay it in February too? And we have to apply one more transaction over there too, right?
if we have to make one more transaction in February of interest, so obviously the correct entry is interest debit and cash credit, whatever the amount is. Now the amount is, for example, 100 instead of 130. So correct transaction always this one, interest debit and cash credit. But if in case here we have covered it up both his scenario where we have to adjust the account and where we have adjust the amount. If it is amount adjustments with the period, with the period condition where Jan was the not correct one. So as I said, if it is correction, then you will cancel with the same period and you have entered the correction. But if it is a different period, you have to enter the adjustments. So Okay, so both you guys have a correct concept, but if it is directed correctly, then you will adjust or you will enter this correct way. Otherwise, system will not give you the exact picture. So before entering any adjustment, that's why it's normal practice for every accountant made it before entering any adjustment directly into the system. They create those adjustments manually on their notepad or in Excel to check the impact. Either they are making this correction, we are going to happen this correction in a correct way or not. Because if we enter this correction against 130, for example, I entered it 130 with, and the period is closed again, meaning that the second fab, the second transaction in fab, that is all again incorrect. So the adjustments you need to make March, in the month of March, because fab is closed as well. So that's why it is recommended that make the adjustment, but make it in the on the Excel sheet first, or in a manual on your notepad first to check the impact. If it is correct impact, then you enter those transactions. Okay, so right now I'm working as a senior manager, but when I was started my career, I remember that my accountant says that, okay, Mary, we have to enter this adjustment. So I was not an experienced person, but he by write he open up the notepad and write up all the transaction in the notebook, and then he work on it and then create a correct transaction. So this is a very good practice instead of entering directly into the system. If you are very confident, even you are very confident enough for your transaction, but I would recommend you don't enter this transaction directly into the system. Rather, make a notepad or in an Excel sheet, check the impact, check all the pros and cons, and then go for it. Okay, so this is called adjustments and corrections and cancellation as well. So we learned three different type of journal: cancellation, adjustment, and correction. Okay, any question?
So in job scenario, this transaction also we have to do. It is done by like whoever is like financial analyst or operational in the account.
Okay, if there, okay, this is a role that you are talking about. The
Yeah,
roles
yeah.
means that, yeah, right now we are working as a accountant.
Yes.
When we started our integration, we worked as a consultant or SME, subject matter expert. So when we started our configuration or as an implementer, because my role was to configure it. So we in this training basically we cover it up both areas as a configuration or implementer or as an accountant or user. Accountant is your user. Okay. So this
End
is
user,
some
right?
user yeah, end user activity that we are performing right now. Only configuration is not suffice as a consultant or as SME until unless you don't know as an end user impact. So this is end user impact we are discussing here. Okay, if you are a
Thank you so
consultant, yeah, if you are a consultant only and you don't know the impact, obviously you will never learn or you will never understand the system properly. And if you are not the user, if you are a user but no, not the implementer, as a user you don't know that how to configure the system. So this training is basically cover it up both areas, implementer and end user both.
How about an integrator, Maddie? Like,
Okay, integrator is something.
because you said EIB also, right? You said to load
That is a
EIB.
upcoming topic. Not maybe day after we will have EAB, because there is one or two more concept is there. One is reversal. As a end user, we have to make it reversal, multi-currency journal, and there is another concept that we have to learn the revaluation, translation. We have to learn.
Also,
These three topics are correlated.
also, Maddie, like, do we need to follow any compliance when we are making a reversal or any adjustments?
Compliance, some compliance is company compliance, some compliance are the system compliance. Company
Okay.
compliance, basically, if there is a constraint with the system, then your company compliance will not follow. For example, here the system said that the month is closed, so you cannot cancel. So you have to follow the system compliance here. So for the integrator part, yes, we will discuss EIB in a very detailed way. What is the EIB? Why we need to have EIB? EIB is every module we have a EIB. Either it's GL, it is AP, AR, every model will have the EIB. But right now, as an accountant, we are doing that. As an accountant or the end user, you work on EIB as well. But any change in EIB, the configurator will make this change in EIB, not accountant. So here we need to have both roles, as an accountant or as an end user and as an implementer as well. EIB preparation is the consultant responsibility, not the accountant. Accountant may have as well. If his accountant is a consultant or SME, and they can perform or update the EIB. We will learn this point there. Okay. So
How about consolidation, Maddie? Yeah, because you said translation, right? The accountant's role. Is consolidation same as translation or different concept?
Translation.
You said consolidation last time, I think. I remember you said consolidation.
Okay. Yeah, that is also part consolidation. That is part of accountant. But the configuration part is whenever we say that configuration, there is any configuration here. For reversal, we don't have any configuration. We don't need to have a configuration here. For adjustment, we don't need to have a configuration. But wherever it is configuration, that would be its consultant role. So here for consolidation, we need a consultant or SME role, translation, revaluation, multi-currency. So all of these one-side configuration, we have to made it from this role. Accountant, normally in my company, in old company, I started my career as an end user. So whenever anything required to be happen, we request it to the consultant because we don't have the rights. But now my role is consultant, so I can perform all either areas. So depends on the roles and activities that you hold in a company, and you can proceed accordingly. But as I said, this training is completed from all sides. So that's why the configuration is completed. Now for the transaction, we need to have a configuration. We will come back and access perspective, how to create it, what is the impact. So we will discuss this one.
I was looking into like added tenant setup in finance, and in the end, in the bottom two options over there, you told that you have to use only book code for accrual account. What is generally accepted then? In the a lot of options over there, right? We don't know which we have to select that according to our business need, but what is that option and what is it like?
Okay, normal for that point, we if you are very good in this configuration part and the accountant, and then you go with this and play with this added tenant area. Added tenant means that this is one time definition. Normally you have it when you try to implement it. Majorly 80 to 90% tenant setup would made at very start or at very initial configuration or implementation.
On HCM
After
basis,
that,
like whenever they
20%.
say,
No. On requirement basis. For example, let me give you an example. Now your manager says, or your manager requirement is that we want to implement document sequencing. What is document sequencing now? Earlier, we have created the reversal. Sorry, these type of journals. All the journals, the recurring journal we have created, simple journal we have created, grand journal we have created. Now this is a requirement that they wanted to have sequencing now. Now for the sequencing part, I have to go first enable at the tenant level to enable this sequencing. This is next section activity when we cover it up this one and EIB, then we will document sequencing. What is that? We will discuss. But point is, first we have to enable at there are two configuration levels. Two config levels. First, I have to enable at the tenant level. Then I have to make the business or the company level, or in other words, organization level. We discuss organization. So if tenant will not be configured, then I cannot make it here on the company level. Okay. If it is unable at the tenant level, but it's my wish that I can enable or not, but it is unable at the first stage in the 80% part. They already enable it, but not functional at for my company. I have two company, TX USA or TX UK. So I am using this setup. Tenant is enabled, company level enabled, but not using for UK. It's my discretion. But if it is not enabled at the tenant level, so neither cases for USA nor for UK, you cannot define the document sequencing. So setup perspective, You have to enable the functionality. We will discuss this functionality more detailed in our Workday security. So hold for a moment, probably 4 or 5 sessions more. Then we will discuss the Workday security, and then I will give you a detailed idea what is the Workday architect. We discuss very detailed way work structure, but Workday architect and security is still pending. So once we will conclude it over all of these activities, then you have a good idea about system. You know how it functions. Then we will discuss this architect, how the system is built it up. So this is a Workday architect part. So here, if I go back, and I would recommend for everyone, don't change or play with this added tenant setup, added tenant for finance setup, because it will impact all the user, even for me as well. So here you can see, if you want to have a document sequencing, it should be enabled at this level first. Okay. And here you can see multiple levels of sequencing. You can prepare a lot of options. We have it. There are all sequencing generator. Why we need to have budget options? So if you want to use the budget, then you have to enable these options first. Okay. Projects, defaults, customer contract, procurement. Your manager is now requiring that we need to implement procurement. So first you need to enable at this level. Okay. So now here strategic sourcing, we have it, this one, strategic sourcing. So these are all areas that you need to enable at this options. How I can learn this option if you want to very keen to learn this added option. So there are two ways that you can make it. One is the finance guide. I hope so that you have a guide in your LMS now. If you don't have it, then please let me know. This should be there.
On what name, Maddie? Because I have not seen any finance
Anybody
guide
check
particularly.
this?
Yeah, I checked the Prestige. I did not see any finance guide.
Workday Finance Guide. There is no finance guide. Wow, this is our very initial point where whenever we started the batch, we placed some finance guides there. Okay, let me ask the
Then do you material? Under material, there are a couple of
yeah, this is material finance guides.